in something sublime. When one is engaged in the duties of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligations to family traditions, humanity, or nationality. Fruitive activities are the engagements of one's reactions from the past, good or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, when one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, when one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane, for they are no longer subject to dualities like good or bad. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. Wow, this is a pinnacle. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. The resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlavaha. The person in Krishna consciousness is a rare good soul who knows perfectly that Vasudeva or Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. Vasudeva is Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. A person in Krishna consciousness is a rare good soul. This means become Krishna conscious is very rare. Is a rare good soul who knows perfectly that Vasudeva Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. As by watering the root of the tree, one automatically distributes water to the leaf, branches. So by acting in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity. If Krishna is satisfied by one's actions, then everyone will be satisfied. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practice under the able guidance of a spiritual master. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master who is a bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. Who is a bona fide representative who knows the nature of the student. This is again where this is also very important. That means the teacher should know the nature of the student. The teacher doesn't know the nature of the student, he cannot explain. Likewise, the spiritual master should know the nature of the disciple, who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. As such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna, and one should accept the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in his famous prayer for spiritual master. This prayer we sing in ISKCON Temple every day, 4:30 in the morning or 5 in the morning. Some temples they do at 4:30, some temples they do at 5. That means the moment the Lord is opened, they chant this verse. Yasya prasad, this is one of that verse. Yasya prasadat, Bhagavat prasado, Yasya prasadan nagati kutapi dhyayam suham stasya yasya strisandam vande gurashi charanaravindam. By satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. As by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. The whole process, however, depends on the perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body, not theoretically but practically. when there is no longer a chance for sense gratification, manifested manifested in fruitive activities. One who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of fruitive acts. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकम् चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पुंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं। हरे कृष्ण। The devote is this shloka is very important. अवसात्मिका बुद्धि एके हे कुरुनंदन बहुशाखा ही अनंतस्य बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनां। कृष्ण कृष्ण। Please understand the process of Krishna consciousness is governed on a strong relationship. Very, very strong relationship. Vyavasayatmika buddhi eke he kurananda. Vyavasayatmika means resolute in Krishna consciousness. Vyavasayatmika. What is this resolute in Krishna consciousness? How does one be fixed up in the process? Is that easy, difficult, or very easy, very difficult? How is it? I'll tell an example. Prabhupada is mentioning here about Shraddha, Shabde, Vishwasya, Shodrodhanishya. Krishna Bhakti Koyar Sarva Karma Krita Hai. That means when one does Krishna Bhakti, Sarva Karma Krita Hai. That means everything, all his karmic, all his karmas, he doesn't have to do any rituals, dear devotees. I'll tell an example. Let's say you bought a home. Let's say you bought a home in America. Do we have Vastu in America? We don't. Nobody constructs homes with Vastu, especially in US, because those homes are not constructed by reviewing Vastu. They don't do any of those things. Nobody knows about it. They don't know anything about it, right? But they started living, and then somehow we purchased that home. We also started living in that home. If we do not have any idea of Vastu Shastra, then we will also just continue the way, you know, the way the other personalities are living. We just live, and then whenever we finish our tenure, we sell it off and then go to our next home. It's a quite normal thing which happens, right? At the early of the marriage, they purchase a town home. Once they have children, they purchase a single family, a big single family. or in a small single family. Once they have more children, then they purchase another home, another big home. And then after that, eventually they will come to a rooftop means basically the homes doesn't have any second floor because they cannot climb. So they prefer to have a home which all the bedrooms are on the ground floor only, on the technically they say first floor, right? And they have a basement. So let's say if people they don't check Vastu, they started living. As they are living in that home, the effects of the home they have to get the effects. That is called as Vastu actually. What is Vastu? If you are not pleasing the Devi Devatas correctly, then you get a reaction. Let's say in the place where you have to keep your puja room, at that place there is a bathroom or something else. Then that's a problem. The entrance should be on the north. The entrance is south or whatever, whatever is convenient for them. That means the entrance, you should have a north entrance, but you have a south entrance now. Now, what is that happening? You get some health issues, some problems, some financial issues, some relationship problems. Let's say two brothers are there. I'm trying to address an important aspect. Please hear attentively. Let's say two homes are there. Both brothers, they live next to each other. Elder brother should be on the top, and the second brother, his home should be little less. But if the younger brother's home is even higher than the elder brother, then the elder brother has to go through serious health issue. They have to go through health issues, health concerns. Or if the sunlight is not properly falling in the home, there's another problem for that. Likewise, when we go and calculate all of these things, then there are so many details for Vastu. That means technically you cannot stay in an American home or any home where Vastu is not being properly assessed. Let's say you are living in a home where the Vastu is not right. When the Vastu is not right, but you are living in that home, you get effects from that. Your mind will be disturbed. Mind is already disturbed. But as you are not following the Vastu, the Devi Devatas, their impact on our consciousness will be more. So what I'm trying to say is the jiva is very minute, but the jiva has to combat all these problems for sure. He cannot say that I'm minute, I cannot combat these problems. No, he has been given intelligence to combat those problems. For example, you have a problem with family. For example, you have a problem with your manager at the office. Do you quit the office or you try to figure out the problem? You try to figure out the problem. The manager is still not listening, then you quit the job. But you purchased a home where you cannot leave the home, but you have vastu issues. What do you do? Two things: change it or leave it. This is one aspect. That means aspect which you are seeing strictly from a vastu perspective. But there is option two also. But this option two, actually, I'll tell another aspect. One time, many years back, I think 15, 12 years back, a devotee was asking. Another senior Vaishnava who came from Chowpatty. Another senior Vaishnava that Prabhuji, do we have to check Vastu or not? What is the answer? Two answers are there. You have to check the Vastu. Second, you don't have to check the Vastu. When you have to check the Vastu, when you don't have to check the Vastu is an important aspect to discuss. Now, when we have to check the Vastu, when we are not fully Krishna conscious, we have to. There's no other option. We have to check the Vastu. For example, let's say you are fully Krishna conscious. Still, if you are checking the Vastu, that is great. Because you are giving respect to the Devi Devatas also. You're not just ignoring, thinking that, oh, you're a great devotee. Vastu cannot do anything to me. No doubt, if you're a great devotee, Vastu will not do. But the great devotee will never think like that is a great devotee. Please understand. Even he's practicing since years. I remember my spiritual master. There was such an exalted soul. Even he says that we should check Muhurta. Why? Because we should follow certain things. Cannot ignore. Cannot just ignore. Abhi hum bhakt ho gaye. Let us ignore. No, we have to check. Likewise, if there is a need of Vastu, we have to check. What is the problem? What is the problem in checking? There is a problem in not checking. I have personal examples. How Vastu is very serious. How Vastu can change one's livelihood. If one started living in that home, he has to leave also, leave his body because a serious health issues can come because he's not following Vastu. You remember yesterday I was telling about sun god or moon god. You cannot just go in front of the Devi Devatas just like them and then do nonsense things. No, we cannot do that. It's very important. So these things should be addressed very nicely. Please understand. And the reason of telling that is another aspect. Let's say you are fully Krishna conscious. That is what Prabhupada is mentioning here. When he is fully Krishna conscious, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. That means he is not looking for any good. For example, he's been kept in a place where there is no also, but he's full Krishna conscious. He has no, he's so absorbed 24 hours. He has no time. Then he can stay there. No problem. Even there is a Vastu problem, you can still stay there as a service. I remember my spiritual master told to one of his very dear student, who's another wonderful Vaishnava. He told him that his home was not with Vastu. And immediately when my spiritual master's students came, they know about Vastu. They immediately told my spiritual master that your student's home is not in Vastu. He might have serious consequences. Then he immediately called him. He called and started asking, your home is not Vastu. Then he was asking, how are you living there? Then he says that there are few devotees here, the devotee community. I am taking care of them. And we are all practicing Krishna consciousness together. I have good relationships with them. They are also practicing Krishna consciousness nicely. The moment my spiritual master heard that, he said, you stay there only. Don't worry about Vasi. That's okay. That means as per time, place, circumstances, everything has to be taken care. The spiritual master says, you stay, you stay. Because the devotee is fully Krishna conscious. He has no other business in his life. His life is Krishna conscious. Now, for those kind of devotees, spiritual master is telling stay there, that's okay. Because they are not worried of Vastu problems. Because they are fully Krishna conscious. But if a person is half baked, that means he is not Krishna conscious. He has to check. He has to check Vastu. If you are having serious problems, you have to check Vastu. If the rental home doesn't have Vastu, leave that place. Go to some other place. But you have to check. Because why unnecessarily you have to, go through difficulties? You already have karmic reactions. Why new things have to be added? But the solution to all those problems has been given in this sloka. Vyavasayatmika bhutir eke hakrunam. That means if your purpose is resolute, if your purpose is fully Krishna conscious in this one, then you can move forward. So to the question which was asked 10, 12 years back by one devotee, the devotee was asking that should we check Vastu or not? He said, it depends on your consciousness. The answer, it's true. Why it depends on your consciousness? If you are fully Krishna conscious, if you are depending on the Lord, everything, Manas, Dega, Jok, Kichmor, there is no problems externally, only there is a problems internally. If you are fully convinced in that, then you don't have to. But if you are not, you have a problem. I gave the example, right? When devotee was being told, even though the Vastu is not there, you stay there. Vastu is not correct, stay there. Why? Because the service is more important. Because the devotee is very mature devotee. That's only to those mature devotees they give these instructions. Not to everyone. Because everyone is not in that state. Because nobody wants to take the process of Krishna consciousness also that seriously. Very few who wants to take. So everyone, we should have this clarity. What is this Vyavasayatmika buddhi? One pointed focus. What is that one pointed focus? Why one should have that one pointed focus? What is the need? Why one should be Krishna conscious? Why can't we be happy in this world? Can't we enjoy sex life, or can't we do just sensory gratification and then lead a happy life? What is the problem in this world? Can't we just earn money and then live like a kingly life? What is the problem with that? See, living lavishly, no doubt at that moment you will not have any problems for sure. Having a big home, big this, big that, so many other things, you will not have any problems for sure. But the problem is the situation will not be like that always. Today you don't have problems because your punya is going on nicely. Tomorrow we don't know, the punya credits might be completed. That means please don't understand the happiness which we are perceiving is not through the happiness which is coming from Krishna consciousness, but it is the happiness which is coming through our punya karma which we have done in the previous or before. A devotee, a bhakta will never in his life think that, oh, I'm happy because I'm a devotee. He will not see like that. He will see, I'm happy because this is a mercy of the Lord. I'm sad because who will say I'm happy because it's a mercy of the Lord? The person who says that I am happy during the difficulties and say that it is the mercy of the Lord, that person should tell that I'm happy when he's happy because of the mercy. That means for him dualities are not there. Who comes to this state? Vyavasayatmika buddhi. That means he has only one focus, one agenda, one business. No multi-focus, multi-agenda, multi-business. His only business is to please Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. He doesn't have any other desires to please. His only desire is this. Now, who is that kind of a person who always carries this desire? Like this pure soul. No one else. Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, these wonderful followers, they carry this. Shraddha, Shabda, Vishwasya, Sadhuda Nishya. That is the reason these wonderful exalted Vaishnava Acharyas, they are glorified early in the morning. That means the instructions of the spiritual master is taken as a life and soul. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad is telling. ध्यायां सुवांस्तस्य यस्य स्त्रीसंध्यं वन्दे गुरुं श्रीशरणं. What is the Shraddha, dear devotees? Shraddha is a faith in the process. What kind of process is this? This process is a very uh, perfect state. This process is a very perfect process which actually takes us to the next stage. Actually, when we actually see this, who is our real problem, dear devotees? Where is our problem? And who is our problem? Do you think our husband or wife or children, they are our problems? Or do you think that our family members, or do you think that our office managers, they are our problems? Or do you think that somebody else? Or do you think that, let's say you're driving on the road and then on 40 you're driving 70 and then cops catches you and then he gives you a ticket. Do you think that he is your enemy or he is the culprit of everything because he's ruined your entire day because he gave you a fine of $120? Is he the person whom we have to blame? Whom should we blame? Who is the cause? Who is actually the real, where is actually the real problem? A real problem is not external, dude. A real problem is in our consciousness only. That means our consciousness is diluted or is that in that or it is in the diseased state. That is our consciousness, it is not anyone else. That means problem comes through me, it's not through anyone else. Because I did those karmic reactions. Dear devotees, please understand. If you do not do any of the karmic reaction and you are free, then you are not born here. Really, through our limited understanding, when we are born in this material world, we think that we did something great. No, no, no. We are not born because we did something great. We are born because we did not do anything great actually. If we did great, we wouldn't have been born here. We would have been in the spiritual world, not in this place where we are continuously rotting. Today's consciousness we will not have tomorrow. Today we will think that, oh, Krishna consciousness is a wonderful thing. Tomorrow we will say, oh, Krishna consciousness, what is this Krishna consciousness? I cannot do this. I cannot practice this. Oh, daily I have to chant my wrongs. What is this? I cannot chant every day. What is this? Hmm? I have to discuss Krishna Katha, to remember, hear, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, do chanting. I have to do this every day. Oh, I can't do this. That means what is this, dear God? This is a problem actually. Or what kind of problem is that? This is a miserable problem. Why? Because on one side we have a disease. Disease of what? Disease to enjoy this material world. That means what is that? What is that? That is not Vyavashatmika, that is Bahushaka. That is what Krishna is telling. Bahushaka Anantasya, having various branches. Buddheyo Avyavisayana. That means who are not resolute in Krishna conscious. That means who do not take up this process. For them it is Bahushaka. That means for them, what do they do? For them, what is their consciousness? What is their understanding? To enjoy this world and simultaneously practice Krishna consciousness. That is not possible. One cannot do that. Actually, Krishna consciousness is a very practical, dynamic process. Tell an example. Yudhishthir Maharaj, when the battle is complete, and then they are doing Rajasuya Yajna, we need to understand why he is doing that Yajna also. Because he is profusely lamenting because due to me coming onto the throne, crores of people have to die. What is this? Me to become a king? Me to become a great person, so many people have to die? His heart is unable to accept that. Please understand this, dear devotees. He's not saying that deserve this Kauravas. They should die. Why? Because they have taken our family, that they want to strip my wife, Draupadi. They want to burn us in the house. They want to put poison to our brothers. They want to send us to the forest and then enjoy our property. No, Yudhishthira Maharaj is not speaking any of these things. But doesn't mean that these things didn't happen in his life. These things do happen in his life. He understood those things did happen in his life. He understood all of those things. He knows who has done that. He remembers those things also. But still, why is he complaining? Why is he lamenting like this? Oh, my dear Lord. Why me, my dear Lord? I don't want to become anything. I don't want any of these things. My dear Lord, please, I cannot handle this. Don't want to become this, don't want to become that, don't want to become any of these things. But you told me to become a king, my dear Lord. For me to become a king, crores of people have to die. This is the source of his lamentation. That means he's not meditating on the past where he had some issues or concerns. This is a Vaishnava. What is this Vaishnava doing? He's not meditating on the past where he had problems or his issues were not being addressed or they've been put into difficulty or prasad was not been given to them or this not been given to him, that not been given to him. He can tell so many things, but he didn't tell anything. That is why he's there. That is the reason why he's representing Pandavas. So much selflessness. So this selflessness is so important to cultivate this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandam. The faith, dear devotees, through faith only we can do this. The strong conviction, yes, Krishna consciousness is the one which takes me back to the other side, which gives me the greatest opportunity. See his consciousness, dear devotees. He's not seeing his problems, rather he's seeing the greatest. He's seeing the difficulties, he's seeing the concern. I'll tell another example where how wonderful these Vaishnavas are. This is what we need to cultivate, dear devotees. This is what we need to aspire for. When this Duryodhana and all the Kauravas, they died, Dhritarashtra and his wife, Dhritarashtra and his wife, they started staying with Pandavas. Please hear. Now Yudhishthira Maharaj is profusely telling here, devotees. Yudhishthira Maharaj is telling, please come and stay with us. Dear elder father, please come. You are like our father. You represent Pandu only. Please guide us. Actually, you are actually leading the kingdom. Please tell us what to do. See the consciousness about this. Now, this same person who is the cause of all the destructions in their life. Their devotees, another aspect, doesn't Pandavas know that Arjuna is the cause of all the activities? They know. They know, dear devotees, but still they don't want to take that route. Dear devotees, is it easy, dear devotees, to cultivate that consciousness? That means you are seeing a person who's so much envious, who's always asking not our well-being, but always want to put us down, always want to give us trouble. Now that a person is being requested or accepted, please come, is being requested to stay with them. And that personality is being told as you are our father. You are like our father Pandu. What kind of consciousness is this, dear devotees? If a person is good, we cannot even appreciate that person because he is a good person. He didn't do any harm to us. Cannot genuinely appreciate him. Not to somehow put him down, dethrone him, blaspheme him, defame him, tell ill about him to others, pull his reputation down. What is this? What is this consciousness? This is not the right consciousness. This is not what we need to meditate. But rather, what is he doing? He's simply accepting that situation and then moving forward. What is this data about this? That means he's accepting that state and he's also telling you, please give us suggestions how to lead the kingdom. What kind of nirmatsara is this, dear devotees? Nirmatsaranam satam. Pure devotees are like that. They don't have any marks or dots in their life or in their consciousness Parikshit Maharaj, he didn't had any dark spots in his life. Only one time which he was angry was towards the child of the mother. That is the only time. Parikshit Maharaj, the only time he became angry on Shamikirishi, when he was not responding, when he was asking for some water. Now, for that, when he actually put dead snake on his shoulder and then going back home, this person is actually continuously repenting. That means 700 years he never did anything of that kind. Wow. Now that person is telling, "Oh my dear Lord, I made a mistake. Please take me back. I'm a sinful rascal. I'm a fool. Take me back, my dear Lord." This should be the consciousness. You should understand we are nothing actually here. Our consciousness has to be simple, dear words. There's no other option. We have to be simple, otherwise we are down. Otherwise we are totally shattered in this material world. Well, this we need to understand more. Do we need to shatter? Do we need to shatter in this world or get the right solution? Through Vyavasatmika Buddhi Eke Hai Purunandana. That is one pointed agenda. My focus is this. Let me be Krishna conscious. Don't want to stray my consciousness anywhere. But the material nature will not allow us to do that. Because that she is the obstruction. And how she works? She works through the consciousness in our heart. She'll tell, that's okay. You can practice later. That's okay. You can chant your rounds later. That's okay. You can do this later. That's okay. That's okay. What happens every day you're hearing today? That's okay. If you don't have to discuss, that's okay. You can miss the classes. That's okay. Because that is the nature of the mind. It will always tell. Do like that, be happy, enjoy. Don't be selfless, be selfish. This is what the mind does. Enjoy, keep everything for your own self. Nobody in this world is happy through selfishness. Today, my spiritual master is addressing the students, 8th class students today. Is addressing 8th class students, stating that if you are selfish, nothing can be accomplished in your life. If you are selfish, nothing can accommodate you in this life. Because at every moment you are selfish. You want to study, that is also for selfish. You want to read, that is also for selfish. You don't want to help any person because you're selfish. So more when this selfish mentality is coming, dear devotees, into our conscious, talking to ourselves, dear devotees, we are checking our heart, whether we are selfish or not. We are checking our heart, whether we are free from duplicity or not. We're checking our heart, whether we are free from envy, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. We are checking our heart. That means that when we continuously check our heart, one thing we will understand. What is that one thing? Arey, I have to do a lot of work on my consciousness. I have to check more. I cannot stop this process. And also the other thing dear about we cannot leave this process also in between. Now, no doubt you get the benefit, but the problem is when you leave this process in the middle, what happens is when you go to the next life, your body is not maintained, rather your soul is taken away. Now, this we need to understand. Body has been left, but the soul has been taken away. But when the soul is taken away, the soul will continue or begin his journey based on his current desire. So if the current desire is to enjoy in unlimited ways, the soul will get that kind of a body to enjoy in unlimited ways. Oh, this is a secret. Because if the soul gets a body where it is fulfilling, It is desires in unlimited ways. Is there any hope? Is there any hope to turn towards the spiritual life, to turn towards the spiritual world? There's no hope actually. That means the hopes are completely shattered. This is the whole point. Pure devotee comes, they come again and again. You see the purpose. Beautiful. Prabhupada is wonderful followers. They come again and again into our life. They tell that no, no, Krishna consciousness is the top priority. Nothing else is a priority. Everything else is a secondary priority. But Krishna consciousness, my Krishna consciousness is the top priority. It cannot be secondary. The process cannot be secondary. It has to take the primary first position. There's no other way. Dear devotees, Ahara, Nidra, Bhayam, Maitunam Cha. They stop us in so many ways, dear devotees. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya. Eating, sleeping, mating. So this thing we need to address. What is that thing, dear devotees? Single pointed focus. One pointed agenda. Shraddha, Shraddha, Vishwasya, Sadhrudha Nishya. That faith, dear devotee. You know, dear devotee, how to cultivate this faith? The faith is cultivated by following, by being honesty. What does it mean? What does it mean by honesty? That means whatever you are hearing, you are trying to follow that. That is honesty. For example, we've been told, leave sense gratification. If you are leaving and then just eating Krishna Prasad, that is your honesty. Other when we are eating, when we are doing sense gratification and also honoring Krishna Prasad and then doing so many other things, that is not honesty. That is duplicity. That means at that moment, where are we associated with? We are associated with the material energy because material energy is very powerful. It can go eternally also. Because Krishna has designed the material energy in that way. No, we have to understand that. There is no other option. That means if I have to take fully Krishna. I'm talking to myself also. We have to be sincere, dear devotees. Cannot have two things in our life. Only one thing, Krishna conscious. We can become more and more sincere, right? We can perfect our life more and more. But whoever is trying to perfect his life in that way, he will never proclaim that he is perfect. I remember today in the morning our spiritual master was telling us, wow, it was his humility is wonderful. Wow. He's telling, I have to check the consciousness. I have to check the consciousness. Are since 2025 years, he's practicing so wonderfully and then leading as an example for hundreds of people, not thousands, hundreds of people. Are that kind of a person is telling like this? What is this? That clearly shows his humility. This we need to understand. If that humility is shown in the right way, then that is our perfect Krishna consciousness. He's telling, I have to address the consciousness. My heart is not pure. I have to go check into the consciousness. This is what exactly we have to do. Our hearts are not pure. Consciousness is not pure. We have to change. We have to look deep into our consciousness. We have to check it. We cannot say something and then do another thing. We have to do what we are saying. We have to do what we are hearing. No, this we have to ask. Very important because this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, how the resolute purpose is attained through knowledge, dear devotees. Bhavanam janmanamante jnanavanma prapadyate. Whoever is cultivating that knowledge, Bhavanam janmanamante, it's not in this single lifetime. We'll be cultivating it for a few lifetimes. Bhavanam janmanamante jnanavanma prapadyate. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samahatma, Sudurlabha. That means coming to the state of Vasudeva Sarvamiti is rare. Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kashchid Yatarisite. Yatadam Siddhanam Kashchid Mam Veti Tattvata. Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Sahasra means a big number, 1,000. Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kashchid Yatarisite. That means this process is not, it looks simple, but it is not easy. To be honest, it's not easy to advertise, especially when we are alone, especially when no one is watching us. That moment also we should become pure. We should be sincere. Oh no, nobody is watching me, let me do something nonsense. Or nobody is telling me, let me do something else. Oh, that's okay. There's only few people. That's okay. That's okay. I can do this. I can do that. So many other things. That means what are we doing? We are changing our strategies. We are changing our consciousness because what is this mind? That mind is like a monkey continuously going from one state to the other. Likewise, this consciousness, it will continuously tell us where to go. If we have right consciousness, it will tell us to go towards Krishna consciousness. If we have wrong consciousness, it will tell go towards Maya consciousness. Now, what we are aspiring in this world, based on that, we'll get that. If you're aspiring for cricket, if you're aspiring for football, you'll get that. Now, this we need to address more and more. Very important. Because if the mind is focusing on one state, on one side, which is Krishna conscious, that means the soul is actually relishing the signs of Krishna conscious, then the body becomes light. Now, this we need to understand. This knowledge is very powerful. एते चांसकला पुंसं कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वामी इंद्रियाणि व्याकुलं लोकं ते मृदयन्ति युगे युगे Hare Krishna. This we need to address. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to share questions? Any questions? Anyone? Or would like to add anything? Share.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then Rama Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji for wonderfully explaining the importance of the Krishna consciousness, especially we sometimes think that all these rituals, like Vastu and all, are not applicable for us. But unless we fully depend on Krishna consciousness and fully surrender onto the Lord and the Lordships, we have to follow even Lord Krishna. Even when he was in Gurukula, he was following because as a showing to others, so that when great personalities follow, the others also follow. Even when he saw Yudhishthir Maharaj, Bhimasena, he was taking obeisances and of course giving blessings to Nakula Sahadeva and warm hug to Arjuna. So in that way, we have to follow until we become, of course, once we are in that prema stage, all this will not become very relevant. That's my understanding, Prabhuji. Please add Hare Krishna.
Actually, when you are fully Krishna conscious, definitely you don't have to do any vastu. But if there is a chance or an opportunity, there's no harm in doing also, even if you are fully Krishna conscious. That is also possible because we are not putting anyone down. It's not like a devotee who actually doesn't see Vastu is not putting anyone down. It's because his consciousness is always perfect. She is fully focused in that. He doesn't have to do that. Because he's fully focused, full-fledged devotee. But the interesting aspect is the devotee, he never proclaims himself as a devotee. That is another beauty in this process. Because they're genuinely humble. They don't say or claim themselves as a devotee. So they'll always tell, I have motion of faults. Because If a person is finding faults with others, he will not have a notion of faults because he's not seeing faults inside internally, and rather he's seeing the faults. And that doesn't mean that devotees have faults. No, that is their nature. Because they say that, you see, you don't see their faults. I have faults because they rejected the Lord. That is that not a fault? It's the greatest fault. That means I told the Lord that I want to enjoy in separation of you. Is that not something? Is that not a greatest problem? It is the greatest problem. Rejecting the devotees. It's a big word. Really, dear devotees. Actually, we came away from Krishna. That is the whole problem why we are here. We don't have any taste of Krishna. So all these souls are the lost souls. We are all the lost souls. We have no taste in the Lord. That's why we tend to deviate in so many ways. But still we should continue. Still we should strive. Still we should put our 100% focus and efforts. Let's say if a person is not putting any efforts, there are three stages. One person he doesn't have to put efforts because in the afternoon itself he did the cooking. He cut the vegetables. She cut the vegetables in the afternoon only. She doesn't have to do this. So this thing we need to understand. Doesn't have to. Very, very. That doesn't mean that he's leaving or ignoring anything. What is his focus in doing that also? Avasatmika Buddha. AK Param. This we have to check. Hare Krishna. Deepali Mataji, you are about to say something?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you so much for taking out your time and I mean, we hear these things so many times, but uh, unfortunately, at least I have no intelligence to inculcate uh, or when the time and situation comes. Somehow, even if I remember, it's difficult for me to inculcate or apply this knowledge. So yeah, thank you so much.
Actually, you told a very important aspect, honestly. Krishna, he appreciates devotees' honesty. What you said is an honest word. A lot of practitioners, they don't accept this. They don't tell that I'm unable to follow it nicely. You're opening the heart nicely, honestly. Krishna do like that. Because through that honesty, what happens is the mercy flows. Should genuinely submit ourselves. Remember my spiritual master telling, we should go in front of the Lord, genuinely submit, stating that, oh my dear Lord, I'm unable to do anything. I cannot practice Krishna consciousness. I'm unable to do nicely. My mind is very vigilant. Uh, it it is tending towards sense gratification. Please help me. When you genuinely beg for the mercy, the Lord is ready to give. But we should beg. Again, I'm also trying to address my heart. We should genuinely beg their devotees. Should genuinely beg, my dear Lord, please give mercy. Oh, my dear spiritual master, please give mercy. Yeah. So when we genuinely carry that heart, what happens is we will get that. Because you are desiring that. Because you really want to become Krishna conscious. So this checking of the heart, churning of the heart is so important. Because Krishna will be pleased with that honesty. When you are accepting that I'm unable to practice this wholeheartedly. So we should try more and more from our side. We should put all the efforts from our side. It should be simple. To lead a simple life. When our life becomes complex, also that is another problem. Complex for Krishna, complex for the pleasure of the acharyas, that is good. I know wonderful devotees in our community. From morning to evening they serve, dear. Great. Morning to night also they serve. Again next day morning they come. Again they serve. No expectation. No expectation in return. They just do it with gratitude. What is doing with gratitude? You have no expectation. You just do it. You do it with full love, focus, expecting nothing in return. This we have to address. For this, we have to be completely selfless and honest. Please understand one thing you need to understand before you leave today. This material world is very, very powerful than what we are thinking of it. What we are thinking of her, this material world is very powerful. All of a sudden, the thought will come, and we get provoked to that thought. That means, please understand how deep we have to be Krishna conscious. Fully focused. We have to aspire for that consciousness. Sleep early, get up early. Make that as a business. Sleep early, get up early. Chant rounds, hear Krishna Katha, do your services. Very, very important. The Brijvasis, when they met Krishna after so much time, they were discussing about the conditioned souls, that how to elevate these souls. That is their consciousness, selflessness. They're thinking about others, they're extending themselves so much. No other business. Their business is one. We have to come to that state. To come to that selflessness, at least we should be selfless to ourselves. Should begin there. Should never be selfish. That is one of the placeholders for Vyavasayatmika Buddha there. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Yes. Madhua Krishna Prabhu, please tell.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So on Vastu, you made one point, Prabhu, where Prabhu is asking Maharaj, and then Maharaj gave the direction. So even in every life, right? So we also need to follow the footsteps of the spiritual master, or like whoever, like the inspiring gurus. So that is also an important point. In this case, like Prabhu can take a decision, but he's always followed Maharaj, and then Maharaj gave a direction that you can stay in that house.
Yes, exactly. When those personalities they say, you just continue. Just depend
If he
on his
had,
words.
if he had approached some Vastu person, he would have advised not to stay there.
Exactly. Exactly. Where to approach? You brought up a very good point, Prabhu, Madhua Krishna Prabhu. It's important. Approaching right persons. That is the whole point. We should develop relationships with the Vaishnavas. Approach those personalities where you trust them, where you have connection, where you have relation. Trust. Because the Vishwasa, Shraddha, Shraddha, Vishwasa, Shraddha, it is cultivated through that one. I told the other example also, right? When the Vaishnava asked, he did not ask. His spiritual master's disciples went to their home and then they asked my spiritual master. And then he indicated, you just stay there. And then he's still staying there. There's no ask, he's still staying. So that means through their word, blessings also do come. That's very important. And not just that, your faith in the process is intensified so much. So practical examples about what I'm sharing today. Practically, you can see the presence of the Lord simply by trying to please the spiritual master. It's very important. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Madhava Krishna bro, sharing. Ma Sheetal Mata, you want to add anything? Otherwise, we'll conclude here.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much
Hare Krishna.
for the aspect which you were like elaborating. Yeah, even you have clarified the question like why we are doing puja and all, and though you are in the Krishna consciousness, still you have to practice the puja and all the rituals. So
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said, when you're in Krishna conscious, you don't have to do the rituals of worshipping the Devi Devatas. I didn't say that. I took an example of a Vastu Shastra, which is a practical thing. For Vastu, you don't have to do any rituals. That's not a ritual, it's a practical fact. It's a Shastra. You see the Shastra, according to the Shastra, you make the changes. That doesn't mean that you're doing any pujas or yagyas. I'm not talking about that. That is different thing. What I'm saying is, when certain situations do come, then following or not following, you should take guidance from superior authorities. That is what I meant. When they say you do it, do it. When they say that don't do it, just don't do it. Don't continue it. That means always we should have an authority. That authority should tell. We cannot by our own self do some declaration and then conclude that, oh, let me do this, let me do that. No. It should be Guru Sadhu Shastra. That means the Guru should tell not according to the whims, but according to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. That's what I mean. This is very important. We need to understand the difference. That means we should approach persons. Very important. Make sense, Amma?
yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. But what happens if we are doing and following and later on, if the spiritual master says no, this is not, and you have to follow that, and we have to follow whatever he says, as per my
Right, right.
understanding, is that correct?
Yes, so
Or correct
basically,
me?
for example, if you have a problem, it's always better to ask for a second opinion. But then if you ask the spiritual personalities, when you take their opinion, what happens is not just you're taking their opinion, but rather you're getting unlimited mercy and shelter from them. Because they, just like Madhava Krishna Prabhu was mentioning, just like I also mentioned a similar example. When you follow those authorities, those personalities, what happens is you get the mercy. The practical process. Now, on the other side, if you see, we're not disrespecting anyone. For example, if I'm not doing any rituals, for example, if I'm not doing Durga Puja or Ganesh Puja, that doesn't mean that I'm disrespecting Durga Mataji, Mother Durga and Ganesh Maharaj. I'm not disrespecting them. Krishna is telling there is no need to do that. I'm giving an example. When you are Krishna conscious, when you are fully Krishna conscious, what happens is you don't have to do that. You don't have to put that as a separate endeavor. But this Vastu thing, what I'm saying is, as this Vastu thing as an official impact in our life, if the person is very advanced, he doesn't have to do that. Again, it has to be given by the instruction. But if the person is not advanced, if he is not following the Vastu, then he is getting difficulties. Through the difficulties, what happens is he will leave the process because his faith is not strong. He'll leave the process of Krishna consciousness. So it has to be assessed. The best thing is to ask them the question. This is my situation, what should I do? This is my situation, this is my scenario, what should I do? They'll give the answer, you just follow that and then move forward. Put that faith on that. When we put the faith on them, what happens is Shraddha, Shabda, Vishwas, that faith in Krishna consciousness intense, that person should be bona fide and authorized. Very important. Make sense, Amma?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for clarifying more. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhasya vipasya patitanam bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo. Thank you. Hare Krishna.